Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Brian Meert, CEO of AdvertiseMint, and we're going to be running through a couple of updates in the world of Facebook advertising. So if it's your first time joining us, feel free to like, comment, share, leave your questions below. If any questions come through, I usually answer them while I'm on the live stream. If they come through afterwards, a lot of times people view this after we've already gone live. Go ahead and leave your comments below with any questions. A lot of times we go back and look through the old tapings or live streams. We'll grab some of those questions to make sure we can answer them in the future. So now you know, and knowing's half the battle. So let's do this. Let's run through a couple of quick updates or kind of questions about that. The first update that I was really excited about was Instagram. Some people have noticed that Instagram is now testing what is like the call to action button that appears below the image or the video. Generally is by default blue. It's a blue color that's been there that kind of shows up. People can click that and be able to go to whatever link you want them to go to. Instagram, some people have noticed that they have been testing a new feature where they actually scan the image that you're using and try to select a color for the button that matches what's in the image. And again, coming from Instagram, which is a very visual community, this is a fantastic change. I was really excited when I saw about this or heard about this, simply because of that just adds that additional element of making the ad look and appear more consistent with what the advertiser is wanting to do, as opposed to a cookie cutter approach across the board. Now, ultimately it'd be awesome if they'd let you just select the color that you want. But for now, this is a middle ground where they're trying to automatically do it based on the ads that are running and the images that are being used, which is great. So definitely, keep an eye out for that. If you guys see that update that comes out in your world, feel free to jump on that or let me know, shoot me insights, tell me what you think. Do you like that, that it automatically does that? Or do you think that you would prefer having it be the standard blue color? So that's one update. Another thing, the second update I had, and then I'll go into tips. This is big. Ad Age reported that Facebook is developing a new feature that allows brands to examine user posts and comments as a way of gathering insights to improve their marketing strategies. Now, if that's a lot for you, let me kind of break this down. Advertisers always want more tools to be able to know what's going on with the people that they're targeting, their audiences that they're going after. The more data that you can get, generally the better you're able to market your product or service, to be able to use your money more effectively. And I know that Facebook has talked in the past. I think the first time I ever heard it mentioned was on an earnings call. Man, it's had to be over a year ago, where Mark Zuckerberg talked about the fact that they were doing keyword-based analysis. And what that means is basically if you were to type in, man, I'm really feeling sick today, an ad for NyQuil could show up in your newsfeed. And that's kind of how it would work, is they're looking through the keywords that you're using and being able to provide advertisements back to you based on those. Now, he was saying on the call that they were exploring those options. Nothing had rolled out yet, but that they, when the time was right and when they felt like they had it perfected, they would eventually do this. Google's system is built, almost entirely on keyword-based optimization, which means, if you're looking for tips on doctors or advice for when you have a cold, that's where NyQuil would generally, an ad would appear. So that's something that that is it's coming, or that he's mentioned it's coming. And what's interesting is Facebook's now releasing this tool which allows brands to be able to sift through those type of comments or social activity, to be able to discuss or learn what they're saying, what their tones are, the keywords that are being used in their discussions about these specific topics or your brand. And I think that just kind of as a whole is very exciting, because it means that you're going to kind of get a very systematic approach to what people are discussing or talking about when it comes to your product or service or the ads that you're running. Meaning you wouldn't have to go through and read, all 5,000 comments. You could be able to go in there and be able to easily scan, and Facebook could give you tools back to say, here's the most commonly used terms, here's what people are talking about, and things like that. So anyway, it's an update. It looks like it's very early on in terms of this, but this could be a very powerful tool that is now coming to advertisers to be able to use so that they can get more insights and understanding into their audiences. So, which is great. The last thing I want to talk about today was how to create Facebook ads that stop users mid-scroll. So one of the biggest factors that comes into Facebook ads is the fact that most users are viewing them on a mobile phone. They're moving very quickly. They're browsing a lot of content. People can be using their phone in a variety of different settings. They could be moving very quickly, just in and out of programs. So, which means you have a very short period of time. They could be waiting in line at the DMV or sitting in a chair for the doctor's office where they're waiting to be able to go in. So you've got a little bit more time there. And then they could be, at home on a couch or in bed, where they've got time. They're not in a rush. And so what happens, you have multiple types of users for these. And what this means is, generally, as people are consuming content, one of the most important things that any kind of advertiser should be doing is how to stop users mid-scroll. And this is, as they're going through things, how do you be able to stop a user mid-scroll? So I have a couple of tips that I want to throw out to you. The first one would be always have your branding at the beginning. Right? So your branding at the beginning guarantees that no matter what, someone is able to see your logo, to understand, oh, this is the company that's there, even if they're not able to watch the whole video or if they're moving quickly. So always try to start out with the branding. Another tip that I would try to do is always try to start out with what is in the video. Either some sort of title or headers or something so that people know this is what I should expect in the video. And if it's something that they care about, they're immediately able to read those words and be able to then say, okay, I'd like to watch this for a little bit to see what it is. Whereas if a video just starts up, if you don't know what the context is of that video, a lot of times people will just scroll and move on. And you might have lost someone that would have actually been interested had you given them the tips up front. A couple other things that I'd say work very well for stopping scroll: using colors, bright colors that are there, using something that catches people's attention, like hey, stop. Lots of waving movements. That the same way in real life, something that would catch your attention, something that's shocking or a statement that would be like, oh, I can't believe he said that. Those type of things, a lot of times, when you lead off with those, can be able to get people's attention. Other things that we see work very well is, a lot of times telling a story, being able to explain or tell a story. You can capture people by the ways that, the words that you use as you're telling a story or as you're explaining the process. That works very, very well, and people want to see how it ends or where the journey goes. Another two things that I say are really important are always to provide testimonials where people are talking back about the product. That feels very organic on Facebook. Just someone sharing their thoughts or their feelings about the product, how it worked for them, how they used it in their life. It doesn't seem very published or like this is a big ad campaign. It's more like, oh, this is a real person and here's how they used it. And then my last tip today for this would be to simply demonstrate. Show the product and how it's working. Try to edit it and make it fast. Understand that a lot of people are only going to be watching your ad from anywhere from 3 to 15 seconds. So, a 3-minute video explaining how everything works, you're very close in that. All I would do is send it to a video editor and say, chop this up to make it very fast and keep it under the 15-second time limit. And usually a lot more people then, when they see the time, the counter that runs along it, the video, they're able to say, hey, okay, I'd be willing to spend the time to update, or not update, but I'd be willing to spend the time to watch this video and see what's in it, because I realize it's a short commitment as opposed to something to be like a 3-minute video. Maybe they're scrolling around, maybe they're just like, I don't have the time, sorry, and they're off and rolling. So those are my tips for today on how to stop users mid-scroll to get them to watch your content. If you guys have more questions, leave them below. Otherwise, this is going to be a quicker Facebook Live, and we will see you again next week. Talk to you later. Bye.